Welcome back to Meraki V Writes. I am Autumn Vera, and today we are going to be discussing the ever popular and growing as we speak book Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I believe if you haven't heard about this book, you will. It comes out on this 15th of September, and I just have to say, I spent one day going and devouring this book. I was lucky enough to get the advanced copy of Grown through Eloise, however, sorry if I butcher it. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but I got my advanced copy through that, and I applied early for it so that way I can pray and hope that I would get more advanced copies in the future. And I lucked out and got an advanced copy of Grown. And yeah, it's just where to start with this book. It is something you wouldn't expect based on the cover. You have this beautiful African American woman with her shaved head and this big hoop earring that says Grown on it, and it sounds as if you're going to read a story about a young woman and her journey of becoming herself, and that's exactly what you get. One of the other things I have to let you know before we get into this book, there is going to be a discussion about the main theme of the book, which is sexual assault. So that is what the book ends up covering, is sexual assault of the main protagonist. Her name is Enchanted, and Enchanted is just your typical high school girl. She goes to this school where she doesn't quite fit in. She is one of just a few handful of African Americans within this prestigious school. Her parents work night and day to get her and her siblings a great education, and it's a tale as old as time. Our parents want what's best for us. They want to give us what we never had. And Enchanted, although she is only 17, she's 17 in the book, she has to be an adult herself. She has the responsibility of looking after her younger siblings to make sure they get their homework done, that they're fed, that the house is clean, to do what her parents cannot since they aren't present all the time. And because of this, she is feeling the pressure of growing up too fast. She has dreams of becoming a singer. However, her parents are telling her that is not a realistic goal. How many of us had heard that? So because of that, she is dejected. She is in the swimming team and she loves to swim. However, her first true passion is writing and recording her own songs. So as her friends are hyping her up and she's going through these different motions of being a typical teenager, she comes across this competition, and her friend has told her, hey, it's happening tonight, you have to be there. So she tricks her mother into driving her to the song competition. There's no swim meet, just the competition. And there she meets a young artist, a popular young artist, who has taken a liking to her. However, because he is an African American young man and he's about 28, 11 years her difference, she is awestruck. She doesn't know what to do about the attention that she's getting from this older man, and she sees herself as something more than just a teenager. He's telling her she's beautiful, has beautiful eyes, that she's just has this amazing talent. And as the story continues, you see Enchanted become more involved with him, and this is the main story point the author wants to bring into light, is that so many young girls are becoming controlled and victimized by older men, and this is not something that is just happening now. It's been happening for years, and this brings that conversation back to light because you don't find people talking about this too much, and if they do, they're not talking about what the man has done wrong. They're talking about what the young girl has done wrong. She should have known better. Her parents should have known better. And these are the topics that are discussed throughout the book. Enchanted should have known better. Enchanted should have talked to her parents. Her parents should have known better. And she becomes infatuated with this man. His name is Corey. He's an artist. And he begins to mentor her, but the mentorship becomes something else as the story moves on, and soon it becomes a romantic relationship. And of course, Enchanted doesn't know what to do about it. She is thinking to herself, well, okay, well, my friend who's about the same age as me, she has a boyfriend who's in college, but that's a 3-year gap instead of an 11-year gap. And a lot of people say, oh, age doesn't matter, but it does to an extent. And this is one of the hard things that I had to swallow when getting through the book. After Enchanted becomes involved with the guy, and I keep saying the guy, his name is Corey. He is an artist. He produces and writes his own songs. And because of this, he sees an opportunity, and it becomes revealed later on why he's so infatuated with Enchanted. But she goes on tour with him, and it turns from a romantic relationship into an abusive relationship. And it starts off with her saying to him that she doesn't want to do something. He gets mad, but then somebody interrupts and his mask is put back on. And so she's just like, oh, he's just in a bad mood. And because she's 17 and she's never experienced this before, she doesn't know. And unfortunately, the people who are supposed to protect her as the story goes on do not. They fail to protect her, and she becomes trapped in her own guilt. And instead of running away, she stays for months. She stays for months with Corey in this abusive relationship. And it goes to show that there's a lot of different things that are involved when people have in a relationship like this, whether it's young and old, or even if you're at the same age. There's so many red flags you have to be on the lookout for. And even though you're in a relationship with someone, you don't know their true colors until you start spending more time with them. And it goes to show that some people hide their true colors more than others, and they end up deceiving the people around them. And you really have to be not on guard all the time, but you have to make sure that you look out for these red flags. And if you don't know and no one's ever taught you about this, then there comes a time when you either have to educate yourself, or someone on your side is going to have to step up and help you learn these instances for yourself, because it's important. It's a lot of this going around in the world, and so many young girls and so many young women are being victimized every day, and they are being told that it's their fault. They went with it. They dressed a certain way. They acted a certain way. They took something. They said something. But at the end of the day, it's about what's right and the moral of it. How can you be okay with yourself if you're doing this to somebody else? So this book really speaks to a lot of people, the young generation, the older generation, and I think it is a great book for informing young readers that these type of relationships do exist, and you always have to make sure to be safe around the people that you affiliate with, because you don't know who may have that mask on and who may not. So just be true to yourself, be true to your friends, and make sure that when you pick up this book, you really read it for what it is. It's not talking about men are evil and they should be blamed for everything. No, it's not that. It's more of the fact that this young woman, Enchanted, has met this older man, Corey, and instead of him being a mentor to her like he told her parents, he went and took the relationship in a different direction. And because he had a history of this, I'm not going to spoil the book for you guys, but because he had a history of this, nobody knew, and even her parents didn't know, and it becomes, a time of too trusting. So I just really enjoyed the book. It was tough to get through at certain parts because you could feel Enchanted's pain. She's a strong character. She is positive in her own way. She wants to be able to do things for herself, to do things for her family, to take the pressure off of her parents for supporting her younger siblings. And because she has no other way to do this with how her life is right now, she is trying the best that she can. And unfortunately, the path leading up to her trying to be responsible and thinking that she's grown and can do what she wants doesn't turn out the way that she expects. So there's a lot of life lessons in this book. I think the author, J.J. Jackson, did a wonderful job with the book. I can't say much more than that, but if you guys want to go ahead and pre-order the book, you can. You can find the link to it on Amazon. And then there's also the fact that I like the book. I like Enchanted struggles. I liked how she went from point A to point B. I liked how even in the midst of everything, while she was trying to tell people that she wasn't crazy, that she was being followed and people weren't believing her, I liked how that was described in the book, because there's a lot of key points that when you go to someone for help, initially they don't believe you because of someone's reputation. And their reputation is either great because they are influential, or it's because they see you as a child, as someone who doesn't understand the world and that you're naive. And unfortunately, there are a lot of cases like this that someone takes an adult's word over a young adult or a young child, and the cases don't get anywhere, unfortunately, or they do go to court, but it's just an emotional run for both parties, for family and the victim themselves, not the one who's being accused or is being charged. So yeah, there's just a lot of great points in the book. It was sad. It pulled at my heartstrings. It really did. Not gonna lie, it's going to be a tough read. If some of you have experienced sexual assault or know someone who's experienced sexual assault, this would be an eye-opener. For those of you who have friends who don't know how this experience happens to a lot of people, suggest the book to them so they can be aware. Like I said, this book comes out on the 15th. I was able to get the advanced copy, and my rating for this book is 5 stars. I did enjoy Enchanted. She grew from a child to a young woman throughout the course of the book. And there was a lot of character development. There were instances where I did think she was a brat, but that was the point because the title is grown. So yeah, but go ahead, read the book for yourself when it comes out. If you've already read the advanced copy like I have, let me know what your favorite part was about the book. Let me know what pulled at your heartstring when he put her in the room and there was a bucket and he locked the door. Like, spoiler, but like that's just like a small part of it that just like that ended me right then and there. I could not even imagine that happening, and for that to be described in the book the way that it was just heart-wrenching. But yeah, go ahead, comment below, let me know if this might be a book that you're interested in. If you've read similar books, drop the titles so I can probably add them to my TBR list. It's going to be tough getting through those, but I will make do. Be sure to follow the author to keep up to date with her and Grown, and check out any interviews about the book. I know I'm going to be checking out some before I write my review. All right, I'll check you guys later. Bye.